So I was sitting here thinking, and what came to me is it's not what something costs, but what are you willing to give in order to get it? And that just broke into so many things for me. Primarily, I was I guess first, it would be sometimes when we get an idea or I get an idea to do something, it's like, oh yes, 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 right? And then somehow it becomes enormous. And I doubt myself, you know what I mean? Because the thing seems so big or so hard or expensive, or it just seems outside my reach. And it's a practice to be able to condense it to something small enough that feels manageable and less overwhelming. And sometimes that practice for me includes minimizing it. You know what I mean? Like, well, if it's like right now, I have some projects that I'm working on. But from the outside, like when it was just an idea, it seemed so huge. Like, yeah, really huge. And I've taken a couple of baby steps, right? And even just here at the edge of everything, I see that the thing that I want is actually much more ordinary than I thought. It's not to say it's not special. It's not to say that it's not layered and complex in its own thing. But yo, when I say that shit happens multiple times a day, every day, all over the world, it makes it so much less impossible. It's like, well, shit, anybody could do it. You know what I mean? Now it flips the power back to me. And now that if anybody could do it and I consider myself to be anyone, what can I do? Do I still want to do it? Well, let's see, because now I'm a step further. There's a different perspective here, right? There's new things to see, new things to notice, and maybe an opportunity comes and suddenly everything is huge again, because it too is different and unexpected and unknown. Unknown things outside of our experience and awareness will always seem huge because our brain is searching every inch of itself trying to find something familiar. But guess what? What I asked for, what I believe for, what I'm working towards is something is outside of my experience, right? Like, I have to understand that if I'm saying, okay, this is me taking ownership of things that I can manage and co-creating with my life, whatever the language one might want to apply, then yeah, I got nothing because my toolbox as it stands up to the present moment only includes shit that it was aware of up into that present moment. I have nothing in here. You know what I mean? It tells me what tomorrow is going to be and what I'll need for tomorrow. What I can do, though, is keep careful accounting and management of what I know I have today within. Make sure I know my own inventory. Make sure I know my own energy, my own capacity, my strengths, things that I need to develop or things that I'm continuing to develop. That includes when I need help, what type of help I need. Is it external? Is it internal support? All of that. And it's hilarious to me because with naming all of those things and knowing that that's the practice of using all of the tools to keep myself balanced and, still enjoying life, being able to be social and, yeah, enjoy my life, not have a life I don't want to run away from. Or that a life that I want to run away from. I enjoy this life. But in any event, I've noticed that this is actually more the thing than the thing. Because how I maintenance and care for myself and attend to the things in my day-to-day life, those supports and things weren't in place when I began dreaming of things, I said to my brother recently, I said, brother, I think I'm feeling audacious. I said, I want to do something audacious. And he was like, what? Which, to the imagination, it's like, what the hell would she mean? Now, for me, and you get the backstory because I had to give him the backstory. For me, an audacious thought and an audacious act for myself at one time was me sitting on the front step where I used to live and listening to music. Something I used to do all the time as a kid. Everybody in my neighborhood did. It was like one person came out, then everybody was out. And that's what we would do. But I was like, all of the things were in my head, like, oh my God, that's so conspicuous. Somebody just sitting outside, especially where I live. It was a busy street, but nobody did that. Nobody sat on the steps. So from the time that I began, and it did feel very conspicuous, all the voices, oh my God, people are looking at you. People wasn't giving a fuck. And I'm so grateful that I came to embrace that people were busy in their own lives and really unbothered by me, which meant that I could be as I was in that moment in peace, right? Yeah, and I lost my point, forgive me, but I'm going to find it in a second. Yeah, so being able to manage myself from that point of sitting on the step to now talking into a camera. I had a conversation with a friend a couple years ago and they asked me, they was like, how you feel about being on camera? And on the inside, it was like, never. And now it's like, keep me from it. Like, let's talk. Take little steps. Take little steps to your thing, whatever it is. Like, just say yeah, because you have no idea what's going to be involved. And other than the response to do what you're inspired to do in the moment, that's all that's required. It doesn't, to me, at the end of the day, because all of our end products will look different. All of our wants and desires are different. Do what you can to just take a small step. Begin with making it small in here so that it's something to manage, and the best you can do is know the moving parts within yourself. It doesn't matter the size or the scope, the expense in terms of energy, whatever the resource that's required. But what are you willing to give? What am I willing to give towards it? In the end of things, none of the projects that I say I want and am working towards would have been able to happen if I wasn't able to overcome whatever barriers I had within myself about being seen, and what I thought that would mean for me and how it would affect me and impact what I'm doing. When in fact it's very necessary because obviously, like, how you want to talk to people and don't want nobody to see you? That's weird. It's not that it's weird. It's understandable, but at some point I had to reconcile in myself to realize one wasn't going to happen without the other, unless I made myself some kind of robot, and we ain't doing that. So that's it. Doesn't matter how big it is. What small part of it can you play and are willing to do? There has to be something. Gotta have some skin in the game if you really want it, because if everybody gotta give it to you, set it up for you, do it for you, then is it really yours? I mean, what you really do? Yeah, that's the question. I know what I really did. All right, at least for myself. As far as the other shit, let the one who supplies everything that I need worry about the other shit. He asked me to worry about this. So that's what I do. A little bit at a time. Marquita go sit on the step. Marquita say hello to this person. Marquita eventually, go to this function by yourself. Go to an event by yourself. While you're there, go talk to somebody. Marquita, while you're there, tell this person what you're doing. Hey, Marquita, go look. You know what I mean? It took me getting out of myself. None of it was going to happen in my room.